Welcome back, party people. You are listening to Crossplay, our video game podcast here at the Whatnauts. It is Saturday, April 3rd, 2021. And coming up on today's show, Mario is dead. Pour one out for the homie.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Yeah, you know.
Good riddance.
We have our first impressions of Outriders, and MLB The Show is releasing on Game Pass on day one, and Summer Game Fest is happening again this June. We'll get to all that and more. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Ignacio Rojas.
Hey.
And Gino Viteri.
What's up, everybody?
Indeed. What is going on? You guys have been missing for like a month, it feels like.
It hasn't been that much.
It's been
me.
2 weeks for Ignacio and 3 weeks
Yeah.
for Gino.
I've been gone a while. I'm glad to be back.
Indeed, indeed. Gino, what have you been up to? It was your birthday this last weekend.
It was my birthday this past weekend. I turned 28 on the 28th.
Okay.
Which is, so this is like some sort of special year for me.
There you go.
Let's call it my golden year or whatever.
Golden year.
But yeah, and that was on this past Sunday, the March 28th, and I did a charity stream for that day, if you guys don't know, on Twitch. And I had a measly little goal of $100 because I did not think I was going to go past that.
Yeah.
And I did 10 times that. Freaking people.
Wild.
People came in, dude, and it was wild. We had Andy come in and raid and donate. We had Jerdy from Andy Cortez from Kind of Funny. Jerdy dude from the FCF Wild Aces, the quarterback, came in and joined. We had Blessing Adeoye Jr. from Kind of Funny came in and hung out for a little bit, took a shot with us.
That's
Greg
so awesome.
from Kind of Funny came in the chat and then tweeted out that I was live. It was just a freaking
Mr. Big
It was
Shot
one of the
over
most
here.
wild nights of my life.
He's getting too big for us, Cal.
Huh? What was that?
He's getting too big for us.
Right? Yeah.
Too big,
Too big for his
big.
britches.
This is the starting off point, and then this is where I go start working for Ubisoft, like Belinda. You know,
Don't bring that up. We almost had her. She was gonna be on the Whatnauts.
But yeah, so that was one of the most wild birthdays I ever had.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome. And and then just doing all the FCF stuff. I've been gone doing that and playing video games, and now I'm back, my friends. I'm back.
Here you go.
Back. Don't know how long you have me for.
Maybe this week, and that's it. Who knows?
And then I'm busy again next week for something. Who knows what's going on? Who knows?
Ignacio.
But I'm glad to be back.
What have you been up to?
Oh, my life hasn't been as eventful as Gino. The reason I couldn't be on the show last week was because I have been dealing with some stomach problems for the last couple of weeks.
No fun.
Diarrhea,
I don't know why.
huh? Diarrhea.
Explosive.
Not that much. It's more that it just hurts. No, it's not that.
Okay, it just hurts. All right.
It hurts, yeah. I don't know why. I must have got some stomach flu for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Even right now.
Your stomach, you mean your stomach hurts. Oh, I thought you were talking about your asshole.
No. I did at some point, but now it's better. But yeah, it still hurts to this day, to right now. Yeah, other than that, pretty uneventful life.
There you go.
There you go. Good stuff. I haven't been up to too much. I've been hanging out here. I've been on the show the past couple weeks. I did get my first COVID shot. So
nice.
In like a month,
Yes.
I'll be vaccinated. Hell yeah. My arm is sore. It hurts. But it's not that bad.
Yeah, I got mine after the day after my birthday, after that stream, and I showed up super hungover for the vaccine shot.
At least it
was wild.
Passed, right? And it's not like a big,
it was super
long
quick.
thing.
Yeah,
So
it was very quick. So
yeah.
I'm glad that happened.
I do have something to try out because we are on video for the first time, and I bought myself a Pepsi Mango
Pepsi Mango.
Pepsi Mango. Yeah, I don't know what this is, if it's new or not, but I saw it and I was like, I have to try it. So I have it and I'm gonna try it live on the podcast.
Right now?
Yeah.
Damn, I was about to say, don't try it now because that is not cold. That is not cold at all.
It is, but not that much.
Is it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it doesn't. I don't see the little whiteness of the cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pepsi Mango. That's actually not half bad. I like that.
Does it taste more like Pepsi or like mango?
It's like, I mean, the closest thing I can think of, it has a very, very mango aftertaste. Yeah, that's good. Wow. Was not expecting it to be that good. Wow. It's like a cherry Coke, but cherry Coke and all that stuff doesn't really, like, it's cherry enough, right? But it's not like, wow, okay. I live in the
peach. I live in the peach state, so we have like a special peach Coca-Cola.
Interesting.
And I tried that one, and it's actually pretty good too. Nice little peach flavor.
Imagine it would be a lot like this. Yeah.
Pepsi Mango. I gotta try that. Where'd you get this?
Mango.
Where'd you get it?
I bought it from GoPuffed, so they delivered it to me.
Oh, you got it online. Okay, interesting.
But I'm sure you can find it at the store or something.
Probably, yeah, like a gas station or something, maybe.
There you go. Pepsi Mango. Tried it here.
Right. Nice.
First one in the entire universe to have a Pepsi Mango.
Good.
Sure.
Good out of 10, right?
Right.
Good out of 10. How many thumbs up?
2.
2? Oh, wow.
Because that's all I have. Yeah, that's actually really good.
There you go.
So.
Oh.
Nice. 2 and 1 index finger.
Let's talk about some video games.
Heck yeah, dude.
Let's do it. Let's start with you, Gino, since you've been gone the longest.
Oh, man. Okay. So I've definitely played more than what I have here, but these are the ones I want to talk about. So I guess I'll start with Avengers, because Avengers we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so after that, what was it? The event that they showed everything, the roadmap and all that stuff.
The Square Enix.
Square Enix, yeah.
I think
exactly.
It was cool.
So after that, I was like, wow, I do want to be a part of all that. Like, I want to do the Black Panther thing. I want to play all that. So I hopped into Avengers when they did the PS5 update. Nice. And I remember it runs so much better than I remember it running.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was just a complete 180 turnaround on the way I felt about it before.
Oh.
Like, before I was just not into it. I didn't really care. I had no fun. And then now that I started playing it now, I just immediately hopped in. I didn't even do the story or anything. I just hopped into like multiplayer with friends, and I started playing as Kate Bishop.
Nice.
And she is so fun to play. I really like playing as her. So I leveled up her a lot. I don't feel like, I guess I'm not at that point where I have to grind yet or anything. I'm just playing to play. And then I started doing the story, and the story is a lot better than I thought it would be too.
The story is actually real good.
Yeah.
So where had you left off?
Oh, like, I wasn't even close to anything. I was probably when Kamala first got Iron Man. And
wow.
So like right at the start.
That's where I left off. Story. So yeah, and then there's just so much stuff going on in the story that I was like, wow, I did not expect this to be like this freaking intense. This is so cool. But yeah, so I'm definitely enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I did last time. And I'm excited for what's coming in the future. I have no idea. I don't understand a lot of it is what I'm struggling with. Like, I don't understand how to unlock more missions and all that stuff. And I know there's secret vaults and secret missions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just like looking all that stuff up along the way, but I'm definitely having fun with Avengers. I see you're playing it too, Ignacio, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have talked about how I did like the Avengers game when it came out. And I gave my opinions when the update came out. And so now, after having finished both the Kate Bishop DLC and the Hawkeye DLC, I'm still having enough fun with the game that I can see myself coming back to it and maybe dedicate some time to not even doing the story missions, but the whatever side missions I can find, or even the I don't remember what they called, but the character specific story missions. I can see myself coming back to those. One thing that I liked about the DLC in specific, and I'm gonna try to not spoil the story since Gino, apparently you're far from beating it. One thing that I liked is that having beaten both DLCs, to me it is clear that they are working towards something in the future. Like, I guess some minor spoilers, but eventually by the end of the story, there is this new villain established to be like the bigger villain of the story, of the main story, and then you also get teases about how the Kree might get involved at some point.
Oh, and so that's interesting.
That's basically at the end of this story, of the main story campaign. You get some teases of the Kree. Cool. One thing that I liked about the DLC is that they are clearly building towards something with the Krees, and that main villain that I talked about, she keeps coming back and she keeps being a main force, a main antagonistic force in it, and she'll clearly keep playing a role into it, and they seem to be building towards maybe the Kree will invade at some point, and it will be kind of like an endgame based event. Because cool. they keep building towards that. And so my hope is that they get the opportunity to keep adding story stuff, and that we will see maybe a payoff for the seeds that they are planting right now.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so, because I think that'd be really neat if they do kind of like what Fortnite has been doing, right? Where every so often there's a new event or something that changes the worlds or the missions or something like that. Yeah, and it's just like the Kree have invaded, and all the missions are now Kree based and stuff like that. And then it's like Ultron is back with all his robots. Something like that. I think that'd be fun, because that would absolutely be a reason to hop back in the game and be like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
And it still won't let me download the game.
Okay.
I don't know why. I know.
So it's your fault. It's not the game's fault. It's your fault.
I tried like 3 times when the update hit, and it wouldn't let me download the game. So it was like, I was just like, oh well, who cares?
Well, that's your own fault, Kyle.
Well, you know what? You guys can fuck off. So
there we go. Let's end Avengers on that. Okay, so I've also been playing It Takes Two with my friend Bad Gal Nikki 5 on Twitch, if you guys don't know. She streams it every once in a while. I've streamed it every once in a while. And what is it? Okay, so I've been playing It Takes Two, and this game, guys, is... Hold on, let me fix this real quick. This game is... It's a game that you need to play with someone that you're close with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it is so well thought out in every single aspect of it. I read a review on it that worded it so perfectly. It was something like, basically every new mechanic stays around long enough that it doesn't get boring.
Interesting. Okay.
So in this game, there's different levels, obviously, all that stuff. And then in these levels, there's different mechanics that are introduced. So, and some of them just change the entire game completely. There was one part where I'm flying the plane, and my partner is on top of it fighting someone, and it turns into a fighting game for them while I'm flying. Like, it's literally a 2D fighting game. They're doing all the skills and all that stuff.
That's wild.
And then, more surprisingly, after that, like we went and joined another level we went into another level and it gave me powers. It gave both of us powers, and I was a wizard and she was like some sort of knight. And then it went top down, and then we were playing Diablo. It was like we were playing Diablo. It was so incredible, the different sort of genres that the game mixes in, sprinkles in every once in a while, and doesn't stay for too long where it gets too much or it doesn't overstay its welcome. And it's such a heartwarming story. It's about two parents that are a couple that's getting divorced, and their child wants them to get back together, and so they get transported into these little puppets, and they have to find a way to get back to their body, and we haven't finished it yet, but like you're seeing the development of them, remembering why they were in love and all that kind of stuff, and it's just such an incredible story, and it's so fun to play. I recommend it for anybody.
Nice.
To play with someone, a loved one or a good friend or whatever it is. It is an awkward game to play with someone you don't know at all. Like if they have like random matchmaking that you just start playing with, because it does require communication and all that stuff. But it's definitely it deserves all the praise it gets. And this guy Joseph Fares, man, he doesn't miss, dude. He really doesn't miss. Every single game that he's made has come out better and better, and this
That's
is
awesome.
no exception. Yeah. So that's another game that I've been playing.
Would you, because like I guess the thing I'm wondering with that game is, with all of these different mechanics, is the story strong enough to make it all feel cohesive, or does it feel disjointed?
Yeah. That's another thing I would commend them on, that everything that comes in makes sense, and the way they introduce everything is just, it's so wild, because there's different levels where in one level you're in your daughter's room and she has so many different toys, and then you're so small you fall into like the kaleidoscope toy, and then that's a whole level where they like the inside of a kaleidoscope, you're like in space, and like it just all makes sense because it's so wacky and so interesting, and you're like, yeah, I've never been inside of a kaleidoscope, so I guess this is what it would be like if you were inside one, so it's like
right. It's
just interesting stuff, and all it's all introduced so well and incredibly that it goes along with the story and what you're doing.
Okay.
So it's great. It's definitely an incredible game.
Cool.
Incredible game. So after that, I jumped into a little bit of Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Hey, there we go.
So this was one of my games of the year in my top 10 list. And I have never gone into a DLC after I beat a game. And for this one, I did. And it is just more of that freaking incredible, DreamWorks animation kind of game. And this one, the original game is based on, I think, what is it, Greek mythology?
Yeah, Greek.
This one's based on Eastern mythology, so Chinese mythology, all that kind of stuff. So you don't have your own customized character. You actually have a guy named Ku or Nu or something. I forgot what his name was. But it's the same. Well, it's actually a new map. It's a new map, and you have all these Eastern gods and the story of Chinese mythology and all that stuff, and it's more of that entertaining, those funny little quips that the characters make and all that stuff. I haven't played much of it. I don't know how long it is, but I've played probably like an hour and a half or something. So I'm excited to jump back into it. I rarely ever jump back into DLCs of games, but this is it has those Witcher, Blood and Wine or Hearts of Stone level of polish as in a DLC, where it's just like an entirely game you could play on your own, entirely new game. So I'm excited to jump back into that. Immortals is pretty great.
Nice.
So I've also been playing, well, I mean, trying to play a lot of Outriders.
Yeah, trying to play.
Yeah.
Apparently the whole world has been trying to.
Exactly. I got into I played the first boss and then got kicked out and haven't been able to sign in since then. But gosh, Outriders is fun, man. I really like Outriders and I want to just play it, but I can't really give that many impressions on it if I haven't played that much of it,
Yeah, it's so I've been playing that one as well. I don't know where I'm falling on that game yet. I've played enough where I feel like I can say some things, but I'm really enjoying it on one hand, and then there's certain things I'm just like, I don't get this. Like, why is it like this? I don't know. But yeah, I want to play more. It seems it's been fun so far. I think the story has kept me interested. I don't know if they're telling it the best way, but it seems to be an interesting story. The voice acting seems fine for the most part, all that stuff. The graphics look pretty great. But yeah, it's also having a lot of issues. I think I played the first half an hour and it kicked me out and didn't save anything. So I had to replay all of that. And so I just ran through it. And then last night I was playing some more, but it took me half an hour to get into the game. And yeah, it was just, it didn't feel good with that. There was one time where I got through a room of bad guys. It told me to unlock the gate. So I unlocked the gate. And then the cutscene from when I entered the room started again. And it redid the entire room.
Wow.
And except I was on the opposite side of the room. So I was behind them all. It was just what is going on here?
That is so weird.
Yeah, but I've been liking it. I knew it was going to be Destiny-like, right? And I think it was a little bit more Destiny-like than I anticipated, though. I'm more so a fan of the Division 2. I like how that feels and how that plays. So I'm getting used to the powers and all of that stuff. I will say that I am getting my butt whooped in this game.
It is hard when you're alone,
It's very, very hard. Yeah, I've had to. So because it starts you out on World Tier 2, which is easy, and then after you play through the first mission and stuff like that, it's all right, you've unlocked World Tier 3. You can now bump it up to normal. And it automatically goes up to that one, and it was so goddamn hard. So I bumped it back down to easy, and I was still getting my butt whooped. So I bumped it down one more to story, and that felt right. That was the right amount of challenge, because they throw you get into a room. It's not you and 5 bad guys. There's a whole freaking swarm of them.
Yeah, they throw a lot of people at you,
yeah. Right? It's not that difficult in mechanics, but it's just the fact that there's so goddamn many of them. It's I can't do anything. I'm just getting shot from all sides.
Yeah, it makes you really think, because there's the way the classes work is they heal in different ways.
When you do your power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm playing the Devastator, which is a tank, and they heal by killing people up close. But I
have to go run up there,
but I can't just run up there and just run into the bullet storm of freaking people that are it's crazy. And I have to play it smart, but I have to get close, so it's making me think let me do this skill and then run back out and then hide here and then jump back in.
Yeah.
But People Can Fly made Gears Judgment, right? And that gameplay bleeds into this a lot. The whole, have you picked up a shotgun yet, Kyle?
I have, yeah.
The shotgun feels like the freaking shotgun in Gears, 100%. When you get up close to someone and you blow them up with the shotgun, that is so Gears-like. And then when I was first playing it, I was like, wow, that felt like years me killing that person, and I had forgotten
they made that game.
They made one of those games, yeah. So I like that aspect of it. It's fun to play, definitely. The story I haven't really paid much attention to it. This is one of usually with looter shooters I don't really pay attention. Like with looters in general, I don't really pay attention to the story because it's all about loot and all that stuff. So, but if I could play more, then I'm definitely down to play more.
We'll have to squad up because we're both on PlayStation 5, right?
Yes.
So, isn't it crossplay?
We definitely.
There is crossplay, but it's been turned off, and they have to fix it and do something with that. So once they get that fixed, hopefully we can squad up with some more people. But there you go. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'm not a big fan of the shotguns, at least at the start. I didn't think they were strong enough. And I did find a light machine gun that I love, and I was just like, this feels good. One issue that I've had with the game that I don't like, I don't know if I'm making it up in my mind or not, but you have the like dot in the center of the screen where your crosshair is supposed to be when you don't have your gun up. And I feel like when I do the aim down sights, it seems like the camera shifts down, and so I like what the way I was playing in Division 2 is I think what I'm used to, and so I'm like putting the like radical thing where I think it should be on that person when I hit the aim down sights, but then I do the aim down sights and start to shoot, and I'm like way off, and it's just that doesn't seem right. Like I don't understand. So I'm still getting used to that, but I like it. It's interesting. I think it's so strange to see this compared to Avengers. And just how much I didn't like all of the stuff that they were doing in Avengers to like get all these materials and get all these different armor things. And here it's like this works. Like I like what they're doing here, and it's, to be honest, not much different, but it's like they have a system that works somehow.
Yeah, I'm glad to play more of it.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, if you can.
Yeah, right.
If the game lets you.
If the game lets us. So the last thing I've been playing is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I dived back into that one.
Divin.
Yeah, there you go. I've played the first two and I liked them enough. They're nowhere near my favorites or stuff like that. But yeah, they're good games. Like I like that this one seems to be a shorter one. I've been following the like mission list that IGN has on their walkthrough, and I think I'm in like the final third of the game already. So I don't have much left with that, but it's good. I enjoy it. I think it looks great. That's really all I have to say on that one. Good game. Good game is
those
good.
Those games hold up.
Yeah.
Those games hold up.
Yeah,
they do.
I played Shadow when it came out, and I have to say, at least for me personally, Shadow is the least interesting for me for the trilogy.
Okay.
At least I think that the setting for it is at least the least interesting compared to the other ones, and it for sure I vibe with it the least out of the three.
Interesting. Yeah. I that makes sense. I think because like I'm thinking back to the island in the first one, and then the second one had that more like winter, like survival feel to it, and I thought that was an interesting take. This seems more traditional Tomb Raider.
Yeah, more traditional jungle.
Yeah. Which is not bad and they do it wonderfully. And I just did that whole like cave thing where you're underneath all of the stuff, and there are those creatures right when you get the silver box and stuff like that. And it's interesting for sure, but I can see why it would just be like, all right, this is like your typical, like I can see some influences of like Metal Gear Solid in there and stuff like that. It's like, all right, this is your standard stealth action game, do what you want sandbox. So there you go.
Yeah. I think Lara is so perfectly voice acted.
Yeah, so, she is good. Yeah.
I love her very much. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Ignacio, what about you?
Well, I have mostly some quick updates on certain games. The first one would be Mortal Kombat 9. But I know I talked about how I was playing through it because after playing through 11, I still wanted to keep playing more Mortal Kombat. And unfortunately, I got to the point where I cannot keep progressing on the game. I feel like having played through 11 and through at least half of 9, I'm at least decent on the game. I'm at least competent in the game, but I got to this one fight against Shao Kahn where I toned the difficulty of the game to the lowest setting. And I don't know if that doesn't do anything for my save or not, but I just cannot beat him. I can barely take out half his life. I cannot even win a round. I can at most do half his life. And so I've done it so many times and I just cannot do it. I'm thinking about just giving up on 9 and watch the rest of the game as a video on YouTube and just move on to 10.
Have you looked up strategies of like, hey, you need to make sure you guard low, or who knows what?
I mean, I googled the fight and it doesn't seem to be one of the fights that people did complain about.
Damn, that sucks. Yeah, that's kind of like how it felt for Outriders for me. I was just like, this is normal. This is your normal setting. No, like I'm not a pro gamer, right? But it's still like, I'm not that bad. Jeez.
Yeah, what's like is that it is kind of like halfway through the game, so I still would have a lot of game after that, and I just cannot keep going.
Have you tried it with multiple characters to see if
because
stuff like that?
The way how story mode works is that the game chooses the character for you. You are constantly changing characters, and so for that fight you are fighting as Liu Kang. And so you have to fight as him.
I gotcha.
Yeah. What else? Speaking of Tomb Raider, I have been playing some Fortnite.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Me too, actually. I didn't mention
that. I mean, there's not much more to say about Fortnite. It is Fortnite. One thing that I want to point out is that I played with a friend the other day who it was his first time playing, and so I'm pretty sure the game scaled us down to his level to the point that we played 6 games. I played 6 games with him. We won all 6 of them.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's how we got Kyle's win. Because you were like level 1 first game ever. Yep. so yeah.
So yeah.
Good stuff.
I mean, it is fun for me thinking about how far I have gone, because I do remember when I started with Fortnite and I had a friend that was way better at the game, and he was the one carrying me and explaining the game to me and explaining strategies, and I was just following him. And thinking back to that and getting about now how I played yesterday and I got a win by myself.
Oh, nice.
And it is to the point where I at least do every game I do at least decent. I do not always win, but I will sometimes win, but mostly I'll do decent.
Cool.
Yeah, and then the last game I have an update for is I went back to Ratchet and Clank 20. When did it come out? 2015?
2016, I think?
2016, yeah. I went back to it. For some reason that I do not remember, I never finished the game. Even though I do remember enjoying the game quite a bunch. I don't know why I stopped. And so I decided to start the game back from the beginning. And I don't have much to say about it. It does strike me how much of a PS2 game it feels like. How much it plays like a PS2 game. It's so wild for me because
so good though.
Yeah.
You started it with after the patch?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
The game recently got a 60 FPS patch for PS5. I honestly cannot tell you the difference. Like I played it. I made sure that it had the patch. To me, it could very easily not have the patch.
I have to check it out. I have not played this game, but I want to play it before Rift Apart.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna download that.
Yeah.
Now with the patch, so I waited for the right time.
Did you grab it with the? It was recently free to get.
I think it was free another time, wasn't it, for PS Plus or something? Or isn't it in the Plus collection?
It might be in the collection. I know it was the stay-at-home thing last year.
No, it was now.
Now, because
you
last year was the
maybe still able to grab it.
Collection, I think.
Yeah.
No, I know I have it. I know I have it. I forget how I have it, but I know that I do.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta download it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have much more to say about it because even though I enjoy it, it does feel like a PS2 game, and because of that, it feels like a good way to spend time, but it isn't like nothing that stands out for me.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, with that, let's get on to a little bit of housekeeping. If you guys did not know, we have multiple podcasts here at the Whatnauts. You guys can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. Just type in the Whatnauts and all of our shows will pop up right there. If you like what we do, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is where you can support us for as little as $1 a month. We have a $3 tier, which gets you all kinds of exclusive content, which we need to schedule our next thing because we also need to check in on our video game fantasy draft. So we will have to schedule that for this next week or so.
It has been quite bad for me.
There you go. Yeah. And a big shout out to our supporters at the $5 tier. So thank you, Sam, so much for helping us out and supporting us on Patreon for so long. We love and appreciate you tons. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
If you guys also want to support us on Twitch, you guys can do that as well at twitch.tv/thewhatnauts. You guys can subscribe to our channel. If you have Amazon Prime, you also have Twitch Prime. You just have to link your accounts, which is super simple. And then you have a free subscription you can give out each month to the streamer of your choice. And we'd love that to be us here at the Whatnauts because it costs you nothing and it gives us free money to make bigger and better content for you down the road. We usually stream Wednesday nights and Sunday nights playing video games, or I guess like Sunday afternoons. I've been streaming some Breath of the Wild on Sunday afternoons. And that's been fun. And then we also do one of our podcasts on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. So be on the lookout for all of that stuff. If you guys are fans of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we've also been doing reactions to that show live on Twitch on Friday nights at 8:30. So we'll be there for the next couple weeks as that show wraps up. But yeah, that is on the Reactor Core, so you guys can go check that out on that feed as well. But with that, let's get into the news of the week.
All right, guys, we got some big news articles. We don't got a lot, but we got some big news that happened this past week. So let's get right into it. Number 1, Sony is shutting down stores for PS3, PSP, and PS Vita. After a rumor last week by The Gamer, this is a website, correct? The Gamer.
Yes.
Sony has officially confirmed that it is shutting down the stores for some of the most beloved consoles of our lifetime. The PS3, the PSP, and surprisingly so, the Vita. The store will close for PS3 and PSP on July 2nd, 2021, and for Vita on August 27th, 2021. Although the storefronts are closing, you will still be able to download owned content on those respective devices. Although this news was generally met with consternation by the general public, perhaps most affected by these closures are some developers that are still in the process of making games for the Vita. This comes from an article published on IGN by Matt Kim. In a DM to IGN, Barry Johnson from Lilimo Games says that the studio was, quote, not warned about the closing of the Vita store in any way, end quote. In fact, Johnson says they purchased a second Vita dev kit just last month. Quote, when the word came out that it was happening through that story at The Gamer, we reached out to Sony for clarification and were given no response. We found out at the same time as the public did that we would have to cancel our Vita version of our next game, end quote. So, somewhat wild news. There's 2 things I want to talk about with you guys. Number 1, I want to talk about Sony and how it seems like they don't really intend on preserving legacy in any way. And number 2, the way they dealt with this, specifically with certain developers for the Vita, and why they dealt with it in such a way. So, Kyle, I want to ask you, as Barry Johnson from Lilimo Games says, they were not warned about the closing of the Vita store, and they were in the process of making a game for Vita. They're not the only developer this happened to. It happened to several developers that had to cancel their Vita games. So do you think that it was just Sony not caring, miscommunication? What exactly happened that these people didn't know that they had to cancel their games?
I think it's a mix of things, actually. So we did talk about this report last week that the Gamer was like, hey, they might be shutting things down. So this is the first that we heard that, yes, they are, in fact, shutting these things down. I never had a Vita, didn't really play with one there. So, there's Ignacio.
Send it to me, Ignacio.
Good night, sweet
Can you
prince.
send it to me, please?
Oh,
Yes.
Good night,
Good night, sweet prince.
So I don't have an attachment to that system, but I know there's a lot of people that do, that really want to see that console or that system continue in some way, shape, or form. From my side of the street, it just looks like it's an old system, and it's just like, well, this was going to happen eventually, somehow, some way. But it is sudden. It does seem strange that it's happening so fast. So I'm wondering if we're not going to see some kind of announcement this summer on like, hey, we know we just shut the stores down, but we have like a legacy store on the PlayStation 5 or something, right? Because I think if this was hey, this is the final hurrah, I think they would have given us more lead time on that and communicated it better. It feels like there's something else on the horizon there.
I don't know. Sure. I don't know if the Vita, but I mean, we're talking mainly about the Vita right there. So I don't know if the Vita had a last hurrah to give, because we talked about it at one of the podcasts, I don't know, some months ago, but they stopped producing PS Vitas. And for a while, Sony has pretty much given up on the Vita. It has treated it as it had its time, but they moved on. And it has been people like Linamo Game and some other small developers that have been keeping it kind of alive, because they seem to have an attachment to the console. But for the most part, it hasn't have much life for quite a while right now. So for that, and for the PS3, which is now, it would be 15 years old at least, and for the PSP even older, it doesn't make sense. They do have to close them at some point, because at some point it doesn't make sense to keep those storefronts alive.
Right, yeah.
The Vita one, it is a bit surprising to me, because out of the three, it is the quote-unquote youngest of them. So it would make sense that it would have made more sense for them to have waited a bit longer for it. But again, like I said, it doesn't seem to be, doesn't seem to be much life left on those consoles. So it was going to happen at some point. It just happens that point is now. And then, Gino, to your other question about how it doesn't seem that Sony seemed to care much about legacy, it is a bit interesting to say that now, because if you look back to where Sony started, and up until the PS3, Sony was big into backwards compatibility, if people do not remember. For example, the PS2 was fully backwards compatible with the PS1, to the point that the memory cards, the controllers, and the games, you could use those on a PS2. And then when the PS3 came out, it famously could play both PS1 and PS2 games. Eventually, they had to take out support for the PS2, but the PS1 support was still there. It wasn't until the PS4 where that just stopped. The PS4 was in no way backwards compatible. So clearly, Sony is now far from that Sony of old that would have kept, like, trying to keep their legacy be a part of their console. I mean, you can even see that from people like, what's the name of the guy?
Jim Ryan.
Jim Ryan, yeah. Jim Ryan keeps talking about how people say that they want backwards compatibility, but according to him, numbers show that not many people use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, personally, I do feel like there is some truth to it. But backwards compatibility, it is a nice feature, and I think that it would be good to have it, because it's a way to preserve legacy. And to your other question, I don't think that Sony anytime soon will change their thinking about that. I don't see them bringing PS3, PS Vita games to the PS5 anytime soon.
The only way I can see something like that happening is if by some miracle they change their whole like PS Now service into be like, hey, it has like our whole backwards catalog. It's now more like Game Pass. You now get, you know, just some like big, like, oh my God, like what did they just announce? That's huge.
Yeah.
But I don't see that happening, at least anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like we sort of try and give them the benefit of the doubt, like, oh, they're doing this because they're gonna announce some freaking awesome backwards compatible library and all that stuff. And I don't
wishful thinking.
To put it plainly, I don't think Sony cares, to be honest with you. Right, I don't think they just don't care. I don't, like, some people would be like, oh, it could be hardware limitations that they won't have a catalog of backwards compatible games and stuff like that. But Jim Ryan has spoken so nonchalantly about it, saying stuff like, not a lot of people are interested in it. And I think at some Gran Turismo event or something, he said, like, nobody wants to play the old Gran Turismo. Like, why would you want to play that? It's better now. Like, he says stuff like that just like implies they don't really care about the older games. And And I don't think Sony's not failing. They're not at the bottom of the barrel. They're at the top. And they're at the top because of what they're doing. So I don't think it's one of those relationships, I think, with the fans where, everyone's yelling something, but then Sony is the parent and they're like, you don't know what you want. I know what you want.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like they have that sort of thought process behind it. And the thing that bugs me the most about all of it is the fact that they're shutting it down, but with that small notice. Because if they said this last year, if they had known last year that they were going to do it, like, hey, we're shutting down the stores next year during the summer. So yeah, whatever. I feel like that would have been taken much better than it is now. I think what's having people be so, I guess, angry or shocked is the fact that it is so soon. Because we're in April and the PS3 and the PSP close in 2 months. So, and then the Vita a month after that. So it's
Lilymo Games is owned by Colin, formerly of Kind of Funny.
Kind of Funny.
And I know that he put out a game. I don't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
I think that was one of them.
Twin. He had a couple. One was Twin Breakers. Another one I think is Half Proxy or something like that.
Yeah, and I know they were planning on doing more Vita games, like as long as they could, and so just to say then be like, we weren't warned at all.
I remember him tweeting about them getting a new dev kit.
Yeah, they said they got a new dev kit last month, and then if someone at Sony sent them a dev kit, but they knew that they were going to close the store soon, why would they do that? I'm wondering if it's miscommunication amongst people, or
who knows when they decided to actually shut it down.
Yeah,
because
it could have been.
Our next bit of news here, I think, is impetus for Sony starting to need to think about, like, how do we respond to Microsoft and Game Pass? Like, we've been talking about it for so long of like, Sony needs to do something, but I think you're right when they're sitting pretty at the top of the mountain. Like, they haven't really needed to do anything, and I think they're fine with that, and I think they're going to continue to be fine for a while.
Yeah.
But with just it's been one thing after another now that I think I think they really, really need to absolutely start having those conversations of just like, okay, what do we do about Game Pass?
Yeah, Sony, it is reminding me a bit more and more to this Sony of the beginning of the PS3 era, where they were at the top, and because of their keyboards, they it's starting to get pummeled by Xbox at the beginning of that generation. Right now, it isn't that as bad as it was back then, but it does feel like Sony might be resting a little bit too much on their laurels, and hopefully, especially with the news stories that we're going to talk about MLB, hopefully that makes them at least try a bit harder with trying to get a response.
Since you mentioned that, let's move on to it.
Cool.
Number 2, one of the biggest stories in a while that I think is a huge story.
Cutthroat.
MLB The Show 21 is coming to Xbox Game Pass on day 1. Obviously, that title says it all, my friends. And one of the most incredible pieces of news this week, MLB The Show, one of PlayStation's leading exclusives, is not only coming to Xbox consoles, but it is also releasing on Game Pass day 1.
Wow.
For a fan of the industry, this is a thrilling piece of news, but it poses a very important question that you guys were talking about that may be on everybody's mind. Does PlayStation need to respond to Game Pass sooner rather than later?
Yes.
What do you guys think? You were talking about it, Ignacio, so what do you elaborate on that?
I mean, this, of course, makes Sony look so bad because game that has historically been one of their biggest exclusives. MLB has been one of the few titles that you can say that it does sell some consoles. It is kind of wild to see how that game now, it isn't just coming to Xbox, but it will be on Game Pass. And I haven't looked too much into the pricing, but I have heard people talk about how it will be $70 on PlayStation, and so it makes them look even worse if the game is actually 70 on the PlayStation, but it is a part of Game Pass on Xbox. And of course, this isn't what Sony wanted. I know people have been. It has been going around how it isn't Sony publishing the game on Xbox. It is apparently MLB themselves publishing it on Xbox. So that the decision about putting it on Game Pass will come from them. Clearly, MLB wanted to reconsider their deal with Sony. Clearly, they wanted more, and this is just shows you that they went to Xbox, and Microsoft just opened a briefcase full of money, said to them, "Hey, we want it on Game Pass," and MLB was like, "Yeah, we want money."
This is major big dick energy by Xbox.
It's major. I wonder exactly how this happened. Like I want the inside scoop, the inside story.
It was probably Microsoft wanting to make a big move, because if it is MLB doing that, MLB clearly wants more money out of the MLB games, and I bet you that Microsoft went to the MLB and told them,
we can make you this much.
We'll give you a lot of money for us to have the game on Game Pass.
Like it probably was something like that. I'm wondering if it was also something like some that maybe not an MLB executive or something, but somewhere someone along the line had a kid that has an Xbox and has Game Pass, right? And they just think it's the greatest thing, and the parents are like, yeah, holy shit, Game Pass is a great deal. Look at all these games that my kid can play, but he can't play the baseball game that I play in, or that that I work for or something. Why is that? And then
I don't know if it was.
I don't know.
Necessarily, it came from someone outside of Microsoft. I don't think it was, because I think that it only benefits.
Who knows?
It mostly only benefits Microsoft.
Yeah. This ties into sort of what I asked earlier about Sony and their legacy, because MLB The Show has been one of those games for them. It's been every year. The show has released on Sony exclusively on PlayStation consoles and sells incredibly well every single year. Yeah. And they just got it poached from them, pretty much.
Yeah.
They literally, Xbox, we can say, it's multi-platform now, that's awesome, but them putting it on Game Pass pretty much means that they just took it from them. They entirely took the entire franchise from them, and I don't know what Sony can or will do to respond, because that is one of their franchises that has been pretty much taken from them. So they do need to start thinking about, what should we do to respond to this kind of stuff? What kind of news do we need to do or break or whatever? What is it that they're working on to compete against it? Because Xbox, you could say a lot. I said it earlier about Sony. They're at the top, but Xbox is climbing up real quick, and they're showing them that, hey, we're here and we're not leaving anytime soon, and we can take everything if we want, because they're doing it.
They have the money.
Sony.
They have the money for sure. Yeah,
they do. They're a bigger company, so. And that's another thing that Sony needs to think about. Microsoft is a bigger company, and if they end up, they could very well buy us for anything So
I doubt that can happen. Even if they had the money, I doubt Sony would allow themselves to be bought by Microsoft.
But last week, would you have said MLB The Show was going to be on Game Pass? I don't think we would have ever said that. We would have said never.
Yeah, but
never. That'll never happen.
It is. I think it would be harder for Sony, a Japanese company, to let themselves be bought by Microsoft, an American company.
Their main competitor.
Yeah, no. Also, I have seen some people on Twitter talk about how, it is good for Sony too because they are getting the money out of the game and blah 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 blah. This isn't good for Sony in any way. It isn't good for them. I mean, of course, they're gonna make money out of it, but that's a short-term gain. Sony just lost an exclusive, and that's worth more than whatever money they can make out of the game selling on other consoles. And also, it does make them look bad. The fact that it is on Game Pass while on their console it is gonna be $70.
I think portfolio wise too, we often complain that PlayStation exclusives, they're all third person action games.
Yeah.
This one was, well, I guess in a weird way, I guess you could say it's a third person action game too. But
sure.
But there's no action in baseball. Haha, take that, baseball
and
fans.
Also, it is the baseball game.
Right.
Yeah.
But
there
like,
are a couple smaller ones, but it is the baseball game.
Yeah. So like, I'm just thinking now, like that one was maybe one of their most different exclusives, and now that they don't have that, it really is like, look, you got, all you have is this one type of game, and chances are it also has zombies in it somehow.
This is developed by Sony San Diego, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty much all that they do, I think.
Wouldn't the PlayStation Studios logo pop up at the beginning of the game, no matter what console it's on?
Probably.
So on Game Pass, they're going to load it up and PlayStation Studios logo is going to pop up there.
Yeah.
That's... I wonder if that looks good for them that it's on Game Pass.
Silver Lining.
It helps them.
It is a bit of a promotion seeing the... I mean, we've all seen the PlayStation Studios intro, the new one that they put out, where it showcases their games. So Silver Lining... Yeah, it does showcase their games on another console.
Yeah, but like they're gonna make a little bit of money off of it. They're gonna have their logo in more people's faces. It helps a little bit, but it's really not enough in the long run for them to be like, yes, this is good for PlayStation. We win. Yeah, baseball for everyone. So
it hurts them more than whatever they can get back at.
Yeah.
To the other question about what Sony can do next, I mean, Sony does have an answer to Game Pass. They do have one. PS Now.
I said that. You look it in the freaking in my writing. I said PS Now is not that.
But it is. The thing is that it is.
It could be.
It is that.
Oh, no, it is their answer. You mean? But it's not.
Well, it is, and it can be if you. Yeah. The thing is that people forget about PS Now, but if you haven't seen what PS Now
I don't think it is that people forget about PS Now. I think it's that people don't want to think about PS Now.
But PS Now, what it is that you have access to, for a subscription, you have access to a library of games of PS4
to
games.
Stream.
No.
To stream and
PS4
download.
Games, you can download them. PS4 games, it does work like Game Pass. PS3 games, you have to stream them. But PS4 games, you can't download them. I actually got a month of PS Now, and it works for PS4 games, it works like Game Pass. And so Sony does, quote unquote, have an answer for Game Pass. They just have to at least try a bit more with it.
Yeah, and they just need to put their exclusives on there. Like they need to add more value to what it is, because you get a lot less than Game Pass, and it also costs more. Yeah, and so it's just like, this is like, I mean, yeah, sure, we're also talking about how like one day soon here, Game Pass is going to need to hike up its prices a bit, because this is kind of ridiculous about how much that value you actually do get with that stuff. But I think they're gonna need to like meet in the middle, if that makes sense. Like PlayStation's going to need to get cheaper and add more value, and Xbox is going to need to get a little bit more expensive because it already has so much value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's freaking wild, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
That is, it is an incredible thing that happened there. And but it's all in all, it's great. That's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people get to experience MLB The Show now. Maybe I'll try it now as my first baseball game, so I could just get it on Game Pass. You know?
Yeah.
And also, hopefully, Sony gets scared.
They have to. Yeah. They have to at this point. Must be scared. Yeah. That's another thing I thought. Did they know before this was announced, or did they read the article and they were like,
I don't know. That would be
they were like, oh my god.
Now they
oh my
knew.
god.
I don't know.
They must have known
because that's a publisher deal. So I don't know.
I guess
I would like to imagine that they didn't know, and the little tweet popped up, and they were like, "Holy shit! What the heck are we gonna do now?" Oh
Jim,
my god,
Jim, what do we do?
Oh my god,
Jim, what do we do? Nothing.
Nothing. Huh?
We swim in our money.
I know what they want. They don't know what they want. Yeah. That's okay.
Green light. The Last of Us 3.
That's all we got. That's all we got for this episode of Crossplay. Thank you for being here, my friends, and
we got a little bit more. Next up is new and notable. Oh, right. Speaking of Xbox stuff, Xbox backwards compatible games have arrived to xCloud. So now you can stream them and play them on the go and on your phones and all sorts of stuff. That's exciting news. Ratchet & Clank has a 60 FPS patch, which is out right now for PlayStation 5. We mentioned that when Ignacio said he was playing it. No Man's Sky Expeditions is out now. It's a brand new big expansion that adds shared journeys where communities start at a single point, then go out and explore, adding to the collective journey. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, it is wild how they keep working on the game. I mean, it is No Man's Sky. It is a fascinating study subject because, in one hand, it is
absolutely
interesting in how they managed to turn around all the bad PR for now. They have a lot of goodwill with people, but also it is, in a way, everything that's bad with the games industry right now, because this is something that was kind of promised. One of the promises when the game was originally talked about. And so it does feel like throughout these years, they have been working more towards the original vision of the game. It has been 5 years, I think.
Oof.
And it has been taking us that long to keep going. We've been 5 years, keep going towards the original vision. So it is fascinating for me.
Stinks that it was that slow, but still, I think this is a neat feature that, hey,
it is. Yeah, definitely.
We could have a Whatnauts community, and we all start on a single planet and then just scatter. And then, that is our universe that we explore and be like, look, I found a fish.
That is cool,
No. Good stuff indeed. Genshin Impact, Gino's favorite game, is coming to PlayStation 5. Quote,
it sucks. Yeah, it sucks that they don't have cross progression, because I did all of it on PC, and then I can't do it on PS5. So, but they have cross progression with PC and
mobile, right?
Mobile,
yeah. Weird,
but they don't with PS5 for some reason. I don't know. Or PS4, so that sucks.
Dude, you'd be like $3 million richer if you didn't spend all that money in Genshin Impact.
I would. That's why I stopped playing, because I would not be here right now. I'd probably be dead.
Platinum Games' April Fool's game from last year is actually real. Soul Cresta, the final chapter in the Cresta saga is coming to Switch, PlayStation 4, and PC later this year. Wild.
Cool.
Because I remember when they announced that. I have no idea what the game is, but I remember when they did that, and it was just like, you know what?
They did it as an April Fool's, and then the year after, now they're releasing it.
Yeah, they're like, psych, it's actually real. Here it is.
I'm looking at a video of it, and it looks like, what's that game? 19 something something. Yeah. 1940.
It's like some sort of Galaga game.
Yeah, like Galaga. Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, this is the third one in the series. It's an older, much older series, and they're just being like, you know what? We're making the third one, and that's it. And I think they said something along the lines of this is also going to be the first in a series of retro games that we're doing that have modern sensibilities to them.
Cool.
That keep the soul of the original series or something like that. So there you go. Platinum Games, Soul Cresta.
Nice.
Coming out later this year. Something that is not coming out later this year, unfortunately, is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga has been delayed.
Damn it. One of my dropped games.
Indefinitely, actually.
I've barely dived into the Lego games, but I do want to get back into them. I remember when the first Lego Star Wars games were coming out, and I was like, man, these are neat. And so this one looks good.
Well, the thing about this one is that it is not like the other Lego games. It does seem like they are trying to make something way more out of it. A way bigger game than any of the other games, and because of that, they still haven't. They just keep delaying the game because it doesn't seem like it is too big for it.
Unfortunate.
A delayed game is a good game.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Not always.
Hopefully.
It will be a good game if it ever comes out. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Next up on the list, next-gen versions of The Witcher 3 will arrive on the second half of the year, according to CD Projekt Red. There you go. They were in the news this week with a few things. I don't know how I feel about it, but there you go. Next-gen version of Witcher 3.
Cool.
Games with gold for this next month. Viking Wolves of Midgard will be available April 1st through the 30th. Truck Racing Championship is available from the 16th through May 15th. Dark Void is available from April 1st to the 15th. And Hardcore Uprising is available from the 16th through the 30th. Go pick those ones up if you got yourself an Xbox and have games with gold. Do all that stuff. On the flip side, PlayStation Plus, we have those games as well. We have Oddworld Soulstorm, Days Gone, and Zombie Army 4. Ignacio,
Nice.
How do you feel about these PlayStation Plus games or these Xbox games? I just know that
the Xbox games.
Xbox, so
the Xbox games, I think the only one that I have heard of is Dark Void, and that's a 360 game, I think, and it's one of the. It is, I think, an obscure game. So the games with gold does nothing for me. The PS Plus games list, it is a bit more interesting. I mean, Days Gone, that's a bit one to have on PS Plus.
Yeah.
I already have the game. I played a bit of it. It's not like I didn't like it, but I just didn't want to keep going for whatever reason. But then Oddworld, we knew that Oddworld was gonna be a game, one of the PS Plus games for this month, and it is coming out with the PS Plus games at the same time. So that's neat, and it is neat to see that they are still committing to one PS5 game for PS Plus
each month, yeah.
And a new one no less.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like a new release,
which is neat. I don't know how I feel about Days Gone being on there. That one's a little strange to me, especially with the PS Plus collection being on PlayStation 5.
But you have to consider that it is the PS Plus collection is only available on PS5.
Right.
Yeah.
But by giving it away to people on PlayStation 4 now, it kind of reduces the value then of like, hey, if you buy a PlayStation 5 right now, which I know it's extremely hard to get, they've continually given us a number of games that are on that list now, and it's just like, well, guess I still don't really need to buy a next gen thing because we're just getting them all on.
Kyle, we're at the point where we're not at the point where people are like, this game isn't there, I'm not gonna buy a PS5. We're at the point that a lot of people want a PS5 and cannot get it.
It can also be taken into account that they could be thinking about just removing games and adding other ones too to that collection.
Hopefully, yeah.
Which is something they might be thinking about. Who knows?
That'd be an interesting thing. So
that'd be cool.
There you go. But with that, let's get on to our lightning round.
First up, here we have Niantic teasing what appears to be some kind of AR classes. So if you didn't know, Niantic is, of course, the developers behind Pokemon Go. And so John Hanke, who is, I'm guessing, someone involved with Niantic, posted on Twitter a photo of, it is assumed in photo of what appears to be some classes with the Niantic branding on the side. And with the caption, exciting to see progress we're making to enable new kinds of devices that leverage our platform. We have no confirmation of it being AR, but if you're putting two and two together, that seems to be the likely outcome.
Yeah, it seems like a logical next step for Niantic to go.
Yeah,
an interesting one. Yes,
Kyle, if it were some AR classes, and if they put a Pokemon Go on them, would you use them?
I don't know. I'm not a Pokemon Go player, so
yeah, but it would
I don't know.
Cool.
But I like the idea of AR glasses and stuff like that. I had an old boss that had a pair of those Google
glasses.
Yeah, and got to try those on. Those were neat, but definitely was not the right form that those things needed to take. So we'll see. This is what now, like 10 years down the road almost.
It is interesting to see Niantic of all people do it because the only people that I can think of that are developing something similar, like AR glasses, are Microsoft with the HoloLenses and Apple with their rumored very expensive AR glasses. So Niantic is nowhere near that. They are not a hardware company. They make games. So I mean, we're all assuming that they are AR glasses, but if we look at who is developing those, are they making AR glasses?
Watch, they're just sunglasses.
It might be.
That could be an outcome.
Right, like it might be that someone else is actually making them for them, and they're just branding them as Niantic stuff.
Yeah, definitely, they're swimming in money, so I mean, they could hire people to do that for them.
Yeah. We'll focus on the Pokemon. You focus on the augmented reality.
Yeah. But yeah, as a novelty, I would be interested in getting it.
Yeah.
Assuming that they are not very expensive. Also, we don't have it here, but Niantic has also been working on a Pikmin game.
We mentioned that last week.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I took that one out. So
makes sense. Yeah. I know that some news came out this week, but I didn't look much into it. Moving on. 505 Games has bought the Ghost Runner IP, and the game has already laid out a new roadmap.
Nice.
And so I played Ghost Runner. Kyle, I know you never played it. Chino, did you play it?
I played like half of it.
Huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I have the
Looks
roadmap
good.
here. So apparently they added a hardcore mode that I didn't know, and also a Winterback DLC.
Oh my god, even harder.
Yeah. They apparently added or are going to add a couple new modes. So that's neat. Also, apparently it came out on Amazon
photo
Luna.
mode. Oh, photo mode. That's an interesting one.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god, these games did
Yeah.
freaking photo mode.
Every game has a photo mode nowadays.
Yeah, dude.
Also, apparently the game came out on Amazon Luna. Cal, whatever happened with you on Amazon Luna?
I tried it out. It seemed to work fine. I didn't really have anything beyond that. I think we've talked to death on just like it. The technology works. We just don't have the internet infrastructure to really do that widespread. Like I'm lucky enough to be able to do that, but it's also just not the best way to do all of that. So, I don't know.
Do you think you can play Ghost Runner on it?
Probably. I'm not on a wired connection because our modem is downstairs. If I was, then I'd say yes, absolutely. But
yeah, this is a game that you need a lot of precision in. So,
yeah,
Exactly.
But yeah, making this quick, they have for spring they have a vanity pack coming. For summer 2021, they have 2 new bundles, another vanity pack, and a new game mode, another one. And then for fall, here we have the Ultimate DLC. Other than that, we don't know what that means. Yet another vanity pack, and what I've been looking forward to, the free next-gen console update.
Oh.
And so that's their roadmap.
Cool.
Moving on, we talked about it a bit before, but the Outriders PC console crossplay has been turned off. Apparently, the game has been having a lot of trouble, a lot of performance problems, and I think that
it happens to a lot of us, right, guys?
Yeah,
yeah.
Understandable.
I think this was partly in response to that.
Please, Mr. Outriders, I just want to play with my friends.
Summer Game Fest. Who remembers Summer Game Fest?
I remember.
I do.
Nice. So it is coming back this year. And
is it?
They have already announced that Day of the Devs is going to be a part of Summer Game Fest, which apparently will start in June. Yeah. So cool. I believe Day of the Devs has historically been kind of a part of damn, I'm blanking on the event. Is it DICE?
I don't remember. I know it's more of an indie dev showcase thing.
It is a yeah, it would be DICE. It is the developers.
Yeah.
It is a developer. So Day of the Devs has historically been kind of like gone at around that time. I remember last year I wanted to try to go to Day of the Devs, but of course COVID happened. But yeah, it is nice to see that it is coming back, and they are planning to show quite a few indie games on it.
Cool. Thank you, Mr. Cayley.
We'll see what Summer Game Fest will be this year, because
he says it's going to be more concentrated.
I stand by how it was a glorified Google Docs, Google Calendar.
I mean, that's what they all are.
No.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hungry right now.
Yeah, we're almost done here. Next up, PAX East has been canceled.
Good riddance, PAX East. Man, I wish I could have gone to PAX East at some point in my life. But yeah, one day they'll come back.
Hopefully. Who knows?
But they're doing it digitally, aren't they?
No.
Yeah.
You might be confused.
There is a digital PAX thing that's going on, I think, but I don't think it's PAX East.
Yeah. There are a lot of PAX East out there.
Yeah.
PAX East cancels in-person event for 2021. PAX Online returning in July.
That's the one.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Speaking of conventions, after rumors that certain parts of E3 would be behind a paywall, the ESA has clarified that E3 will be entirely free this year.
Good.
Yeah, so a lot of people freak out about the possibility of E3 being banned by Google. But
to be honest, I actually don't mind that idea for certain things. If they implement it well
would depend
enough,
on what would be.
Right, yeah, it depends on like what's behind the paywall, but I think that like it should the majority of the things should be free and open to the public to watch, especially if it's online and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's different conventions like BlizzCon and the Final Fantasy 14 FanFest that lock stuff behind a paywall and it's digital, but they offer digital goodies. They give you, they send you a shirt or something that you were a part of it. So if they do stuff like that, that would work. But just to watch something, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think it would have made sense to something like a showcase or presentations to put it behind a paywall, but
for
game demos,
and presentations, no, but like behind closed doors demo or something that I think would be fine. Like, hey, we're not really ready to show this to the public at large, so it's mainly journalists, but we have like 15 spots for.
But then someone records their screen and then they just release it to the public. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, man, I wish that they put out more demos for E3.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be cool.
Put them
you
out
get a
online.
demo, a code for a demo. Yeah,
put them out online.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then last thing we have here, some game got a patch. Cool.
A new Final Fantasy 14 patch 5.5 trailer, my friends, came out yesterday, I think. The new patch that's leading into Endwalker, which is a new expansion coming later this year. A new patch which shows a lot of story.
You got to sit down with Michael Hyam from GameSpot and talk all about that.
Talk all about that. Freaking great to have him on there. But this new patch 5.5, as they like to title their patches, this one is called Death Unto Dawn. If that doesn't sound ominous for you, then I don't know what will. But freaking looks awesome. Final Fantasy continues to be one of the best Final Fantasies ever released. There we go.
You didn't say which number. You were just like Final Fantasy continues to be the best Final Fantasy.
14, Final Fantasy 14 online. My apologies. I got too excited.
Oh, good. Yeah. I saw you typing that, and I was like, oh, God, it's in all caps.
I needed to end it on that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good stuff. Well, that's the end of our lightning round, so let's start wrapping things up here. Gino, besides Final Fantasy 14, what else are you excited about this week?
Now that I'm back, I want to continue my excitement for Kena, Bridge of Spirits, or Kena, actually.
I think it's Kena.
Or Kena. Kena.
See, now you confuse me now.
I think it's pronounced Kena.
Michael Kena.
I think it's pronounced Kena, actually, because in the last trailer, in the future, what is it, future game show or whatever, something like that, I think the person said Kena on the trailer. But people hear Kena, but I think it's Kena.
I don't know.
I'm going to start saying Kena, Bridge of Spirits. That's what I'm excited for. I'm excited for to play some Outriders, hopefully, man. I want to play some Outriders.
Hopefully.
And Avengers and finish It Takes Two. And there's a good amount of games out now. There's a good amount of games out to play. We got Monster Hunter Rise. That island's playing and all that stuff. I'll probably jump into Monster Hunter Rise at some point. But Outriders, Immortals Phoenix Rising DLC. Oh my god, so much to play. So little time.
Go.
But heck yeah, dude.
Ignacio, what about you, my friend? What are you excited for this week?
Not much.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have anything interesting going on.
Nothing interesting going on. Is there like a movie you're excited about, or a TV show you've been watching, or something?
What are you gonna eat, Ignacio? What are you gonna eat? How about that?
I don't know.
I'm excited about food, at least.
No.
Man.
Nothing.
What a boring life.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we're now in full quarantine, and so that has limited what I can do.
Did you guys go back into quarantine?
Yeah, our numbers have been pretty bad lately, so they put us back into full quarantine.
Select-created.
That stinks. Yeah. That stinks. Hopefully that gets done with quick as they continue to vaccinate people. So
yeah,
that will help. But the quarantine will absolutely help get that number down. So
yeah. Also, Gino, I regret informing you that the lady at the State of Play said Kina.
Kina.
Yep.
No, I'm talking about the trailer.
No,
in the trailer, the
lady
voice
that
acting.
presented the game said Kina.
She's wrong, dude.
Mario, it's all the same, you know.
Kana. Okay, there you go.
I'm excited to jump back into Outriders. I think that game is fun, but I still don't know exactly what to make of it. So I'm hoping that by this next week, I'll be like, this game is bad or this game is great.
Cool,
right? You know, something.
Hopefully,
like
you'll
that.
be able to play it.
Right? Yeah. Hopefully, it won't take me half an hour to just get into the game.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. But I think that's kind of about it. For now, the next big things I'm excited for, I think, are at the end of the month when we got like Pokemon Snap. I think is at the end.
And
of the
Returnal,
month.
we're getting Returnal as well.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The same day, I think.
Yep, indeed. It's going to be an interesting one. Which did you guys see that whole thing that PlayStation put out a preview
they
of
did their own first impressions,
right? Yeah. Like, oh man, this
game.
game is great. It's wonderful. Play it. You guys should absolutely play it. Just like, what is going on here? This is weird. Oh, there you go. Let's see if you guys. I was about to do a little bit more housekeeping stuff. I don't know if we really have much else to mention on that stuff. So, Gino,
captain's log? Mention the captain's log.
Oh yeah, we should absolutely mention that. This past week on the captain's log, we had the Wild Aces News Network on the captain's log. If you guys are interested in the fan-controlled football league, you guys should absolutely go check it out. If you are a kind of funny fan, you guys can see Gino and Matt and Ashley, who have been to a number of the games and have been making some content around that. And maybe next year we can get Matt to eat more than 2 chicken wings. So
heck yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. But that's on one of our other feeds, so you guys can go find out more information on our website. Gino, where can they find you?
You guys can find me over on Twitter at Gino_Viteri and on Twitch at GinoVii. That Kyle actually made a new logo for me that is freaking beautiful. So you guys gotta go check that out. Freaking beautiful. Yeah. GinoVii on Twitch.
You're welcome, my dude.
Thank you.
Ignacio, where can they find you?
Well, they can find me on Twitter at IgnacioRojasB. That's IGNACIOROJASB.
Go. You guys can find me at YoKyleSpringer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with our shows, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So go like, share, subscribe. And if you have some kind words to say, go rate and review us. We could absolutely use the help here, especially since we are small-time creators. Hoping to make it big one day.
Heck yeah.
One day, you know? That is about it. So we will wrap things up there. This has been, we usually don't do the episode numbers, but this has been number 65.
65.
Of Crossplay. So we will see you all
almost at 69
next week. Almost, guys. Almost. We'll get there. Till next time. Bye.
My tummy is rumbling, guys.